Hello, welcome to the Kristin Carrera podcast. I am Kristin. Welcome back if you've been following along. If you are new, please make sure to hit that subscribe button, follow along. That way you are up to date with what is going on in my journey, any tips or any questions that I might answer here on the podcast. Today, one of the questions that is very much asked in a lot of the carnivore groups that I am in is, why do carnivores avoid fruit? Can I have fruit? Can I have this? Can I have that? There are so many questions, and it's a very simple diet. It's literally just meat and dairy and eggs and salt. That is it. That is it. Nothing else. Now, there are some more relaxed carnivores that will include coffee and some teas. And not all carnivores include dairy. If you have a dairy intolerance, then obviously we try to avoid that. But if you're okay with dairy, then by all means, you can have dairy. But let's talk about the fruit. Today, we're diving into this topic on the fruit carnivore diet as well as animal-based diets and why many carnivores choose to avoid fruits. There are a few key reasons why this happens, so let's break it down. Blood sugar concerns. Fruit is high in natural sugars, specifically fructose, and some carnivores believe that consuming it can lead to unwanted spikes in blood sugar levels. This can cause a quick rise and fall in energy, leading to crashes that might affect overall well-being, especially for people who are sensitive to these fluctuations. The carnivore diet emphasizes stable energy from fats and proteins, avoiding sugar highs and lows, which can impact mood and energy stability. Gut health and digestion. Carnivores argue that the fiber in fruit can upset digestion. While fiber is typically associated with gut health, we hear this all the time: eat your fiber, get your fiber, right? Some proponents of carnivore diets feel that eliminating it leads to smoother digestion. They report that when eating an animal-based diet without fruits or vegetables, they experience less bloating and discomfort. I will tell you on my personal journey that that's exactly how I felt. I have done keto. I have done an elimination gut protocol where I ate mostly vegetables, very little red meat, and my gut was actually worse. And it did not eliminate my anxiety, it did not eliminate my depression or my inflammation or any of the symptoms that I was having throughout that time in my life. So, the belief is that plant-based fibers can irritate the gut or feed bacteria, creating digestive issues instead of improving gut health. Some feel the fiber-rich fruits can actually cause digestive discomfort. In my personal journey, like I said, that is exactly what happened to me. I will say that I don't think that there's a one size fits all and that every body is different. I do think that it's very important to research for yourself what oxalates are and how vegetables can, in fact, upset your gut and cause other issues along the way. I think that you need to do your research on that and maybe do an elimination diet like the carnivore diet just to see if these foods are actually affecting you. So, inflammation and autoimmune issues. Another belief is that the compound found in fruits such as lectins and oxalates can trigger inflammation or worsen autoimmune conditions in certain people. These naturally occurring chemicals in fruits are thought to cause adverse reactions, especially in those with sensitive or autoimmune diseases. I have an autoimmune disease. I have a thyroid issue called Graves' disease. So, this is something that a lot of doctors don't even tell you. I was never once told to eliminate fruits and vegetables from my diet. So this is very interesting to me. By avoiding fruits, some carnivores report reduced inflammation and flare-ups in conditions like arthritis or skin issues. I have seen people who are vegan go carnivore and totally clear up their skin. I personally was starting to get inflammation here in my hands, which I felt were like arthritis, and that is also gone after going carnivore. Carnivores focus on bioavailability, which refers to how well the body can absorb and use nutrients. Animal products are seen as more bioavailable, meaning the body can extract and use the nutrients from animal foods more efficiently than from plants. Many of the carnivore diet believe that they get everything they need from meat, fat, organs, and without needing the vitamins or minerals found in fruit. Some carnivores take an ancestral approach to eating, claiming that our early ancestors primarily ate meat and fat, only consuming fruit seasonally or rarely, which, if you think about it, was the case. They did eat fruit, right, that they found out there, but it was seasonal. It's not like now where you can find strawberries all year long, you can find spinach all year long. That's not how it was in the old days. They feel that replicating this pattern by eating only animal-based food is more in line with how humans evolved to eat. While fruit may have been available to our ancestors, it wasn't always a regular part of their diet. And carnivores believe that sticking to animal-based foods is more natural and beneficial. Ketosis and fat burning. I'm still learning a lot about ketosis and exactly how it works, but I'm going to read you this information. Lastly, some carnivores focus on staying in ketosis, a state where the body burns fat for energy instead of carbs. So fruit consumption can kick the body out of ketosis due to its sugar content, which disrupts fat burning and can lead to cravings or energy slumps. I've heard people who have sugar addictions go back to fruits, and because of the sugar in fruits, it kicks in those cravings for the unhealthy sugars and the stuff that we don't want to eat. So there's that. And by cutting out fruit, carnivores maintain a state of ketosis, promoting steady energy levels and sustained fat burning. So for an animal-based diet, they do include fruit. And while strict carnivores avoid fruit, the animal-based diet, which you will hear if you want to hear more about that, you can check out Dr. Paul Saladino, and he is a big advocate towards an animal-based diet. He did start carnivore, and that's where this controversy is. And a lot of people give him SHIT about it because he was considered the carnivore doctor and preached and said that this is the way we should do it and we shouldn't have fruit and vegetables, and then he went more animal-based. But I do believe that that's why it's called an elimination diet. I think that we have to find out what works for you. Everybody is different. That's where I have that mentality. I live in the gray area. I don't live in black and white, and I'm sorry, that's just the way I am. But I think that we have to look at it overall and also individually, because we are all different. Yes, we are all humans, but I, for example, am allergic to pineapple. It affects me. It causes inflammation. It causes anxiety. Whereas for you, you may be able to enjoy and eat pineapple. I don't know. Again, we are just all different in that aspect. So proponents of the animal-based diet believe that incorporating fruit can provide beneficial nutrients and maintain flexibility without the negative impacts that processed sugars have. People want to compare the two, but I truly do believe that processed sugar and the sugar that you're getting in your fruits is different. Hardcore carnivores will tell you otherwise, and fruit is bad for you. The simplicity, strict carnivores often appreciate the simplicity of the diet. Focusing on animal products exclusively avoids the complexity of incorporating and moderating fruits or other plant-based foods. So I saw this post on social media of this page that I follow. I do love them. They are all about carnivore, but they are very hardcore carnivores. And so I don't always agree with them 100%. So this is what the saying said. The fruit and honey trap. Step 1, goes carnivore. Feels amazing. Very true. Step 2, sees carnivores eating fruit and honey online. Also true. Step 3, adds fruit and honey. Carb addiction, joint pains, and gut issues come roaring back. Step 4, back to strict carnivore. The fruit and honey road to nowhere. Who's fallen for this trap is their caption. So I replied, and I said, this isn't the case for everyone. I do think it's good to reintroduce one at a time to see how your body reacts, and some feel better on carnivore only, and some feel better on a more animal-based diet. So I really think that you need to find what works for you. Paul Saladino found that animal-based works better for him. Dr. Sean Baker, he has implemented fruit and other things in his diet and tested it out, and he just feels better on carnivore. So it just really depends on how you feel. So you will get a lot of mixed ideas out there of what's what. If you are going strict carnivore, then you are not implementing fruits. I am not strict carnivore anymore. I am going to do a strict 30-day lion diet challenge. So wish me luck on that. I am so scared to do it today after craving my coffee and my eggs and bacon, but that's another story. But if you want to slowly do a more relaxed carnivore, there's that. The relaxed carnivores do include coffee and sometimes tea. You will get the hardcore carnivores telling you that coffee, you are not carnivore if you're drinking coffee, because coffee comes from a plant. Yes, it does. And so technically it's not carnivore. It's not from an animal. However, even in Dr. Sean Baker's book, when he lists the things that you can eat, he says that you can have coffee if it's something that you really want to have, and some unsweetened, obviously, tea. So it just depends where you are on your journey. There's also then what they call the dirty carnivore. And the dirty carnivore, honestly, I really hate that saying, and I really don't agree with this way of eating, because I think it's just an excuse to include plants and fruit, and then that's just not carnivore, right? So I don't say that I'm 100% carnivore. I do let you know that I am probably more 95% carnivore, 5% animal based. Meat based, if you want to call it, the no diet, if you want to call it, the Kristin diet, because it's what works for me diet, I like to call it. So I slowly reintroduced fruit just to see how I felt. I really don't feel that great on most fruits. I do okay with more of the unsweetened fruits like avocado. I've done spaghetti squash, and that's pretty much it. I have had a banana here and there, which I noted the other day, and I've been journaling again before I start my lion diet just to see how it affects me. But I'm actually okay without having too much fruit in my diet. Sometimes I feel that it would be nice to implement an apple or a pear here and there, but I'm still learning about high oxalates and low oxalates and which ones are the better ones. Obviously, if you're strict carnivore, you're not going that way at all. But I like to, like I said, live in the gray area. I like to open my mind, and I enjoy food very much. So I would like to see what I can eat that still makes me feel good, that still does not trigger my anxiety, that doesn't trigger my depression, that doesn't trigger all these things, that I had and that I am slowly healing now on the carnivore diet. So that is another reason why I'm super excited to do this 30-day lion diet challenge. I know that I keep mentioning it, but we start October 1st. So if you are interested in joining us with Dr. Fernando Morales, he is in our group. He is my partner in this, and we have a private chat going with the people who are already in the group, and we're going to have just accountability with each other, check-ins, food ideas, things like that. So stay tuned to hear about my 30-day challenge. I'm going to be coming in every day sharing that with you. And yeah, I'm excited and nervous all at the same time. But today's conversation was fruit, and so you do you, right? You can't let anybody dictate what is best for you. You truly have to find that out for yourself. So, although I love to get information from Dr. Anthony Shafee and Dr. Baker, and I also look at Paul Saladino's stuff, not as much. And I love Dr. Ken Berry. I think that he is great because he does believe in the carnivore diet, but he kind of talks about other things as well and what works for others. So I do like that about him. And his wife is kind of like me, where she's just like, she's more meat based, but she implements other things that work for her. And I love that as well. So find what works for you, like I said. And if you have any questions, any comments, please leave them below. I would love to hear them. And I will see you again tomorrow.